everyone, my name is Laura Ferreira and I'm a fine art portrait photographer from Trinidad and Tobago. So today I'm going to show you how I edited an underwater photo shoot. Well, it was supposed to be underwater, but just before I jumped in, I realized that the camera housing had dry rotted. You see, I hadn't shot for a few months due to the COVID lockdown. This is July 2020. And my poor little camera bag, poor neglected little camera bag, he just dry rotted the finger ports. So when I actually went to, I put the camera in and put my hands in, I realized, oh, I'm actually touching the camera. Ooh, that's not good, not good. So thankfully I figured that out before I submerged the case. Anyway, we still went ahead with the shoots. Let me explain it. I had the idea from the Hans Christian Andersen Little Mermaid. This isn't the Disney one where she runs off with the man. This is the one where she flops into the water and dissolves into foam. Pretty cool. Not very Disney-ish. So this was the idea. It was going to be the models, half the model's face above the water, and then just below the waterline, she dissolves into foam. Yeah. I was going to shoot this completely underwater and then do a little minimal editing with the foam and the bubbles. So I figured we could still get the shoot done, and I will just manipulate it in Affinity Photo and still get this composition down. Yeah, so I'm about to show you the file that I worked on. Now I edited this July 2020, right? Maybe like a few days after the photo shoot. So I've actually gone through the file, cleaned it up a bit, because there was just a graveyard of dead layers. Just, yeah, we didn't have to see all that. So I cleaned it up, and you'll see how simplified it is right now. So it'll be a bit of a speed run of what I did back then. So let's dive in. Okay, so we begin with the photo that we want to use. So this one, this is pretty much the same angle as what I wanted to do, what I sketched out. So I went with this photo. This was my favorite out of the few that we took. And you could see the full photo here. I just cropped it this way because the waterline that separates her from the sky, the air, and underwater will come about here. So this is the shape, these are the dimensions that I want the final image to be. So I've cropped it like that. Right, so we have all our layers so neat and color-coded. That never happens in real life. I have just done that for this. Oh, why didn't I color-code that? Let's color-code it now. Boop. Bubs. Let's color-code these two. Let's look professional. Okay, right, so we're starting with the solo photo of Nikki. And what I did next was create a new layer. This is how we create a new layer here. And I added this little bit of black. What's going on underneath here doesn't really matter because we're going to put another image over it. So I just put this. I guess in the moment, I just wanted to see the separation of where I wanted the waterline to be. And then this photo, this was an overhead shot that I did of her. Her body rotated. I sort of hovered over her. It was a very shallow pool, so I hovered over her and took this shot, thinking that's sort of what I would see if I did actually shoot her underwater. So I took this image and I added it here. Kind of guessing, you know, how she would be, how it would kind of line up. Not perfect, but it worked. So let me show you the mask that I did. Let's turn back on that layer. And I just masked out anything that would be above this waterline. So that's her lower body that we've added in. Let's neaten that up. And then I wanted to darken everything from the waterline downwards, so I added a curves adjustment. I just pulled this down to about there, and then I masked out everything from the waterline upwards. So that's my mask, and I think I added it, yeah, I added a little bit of this splatter. This is just a basic splatter brush that I used just to kind of, you know, make it not a solid separation, and then I used the blur tool and sort of blurred it out a bit, soften it up, and yeah, that was my darkening of that lower part. Then we moved on to color balance. I just wanted to adjust only what was underwater. I wanted to add a bit of blue and cyan just to the midtones, so I used the color balance adjustment layer, and only to the midtones. There's nothing going on in shadows or highlights, just in the midtones. I adjusted the cyan and I adjusted the blue a bit more. And did I do anything up here? Yes, I did. I added this, well, I opened the blending options and I only wanted the shadows to be affected by this layer. So I really love this tool. You see, if I took it off, you would see all here is a lot more blue. But then just sort of telling it, no, I don't want any blue on the highlights or the lighter tones. Yeah. I love this tool. I use it all the time. And that is that for the lower part of this waterline in terms of coloring. Everything I have in blue is just for the water. Everything in orange is for the body. Let's see, now we move on to the waterline. So the waterline is just where I want that separation to be, which is this way. And again, it's just using the basic standard round light brush and painting over it. If you look at photos from divers or anybody doing this sort of photography where they're getting, well, the same effect, so you get above water and below water, there's always a ribbon, a band that separates the up and the down, and that's basically what I drew in here. Just lines using, well, sampling colors from the tulle, just colors from below, and just drawing in this ribbon. I also painted, not on full opacity, just painted a bit of dark, is that black? I guess I used black, let me see. Let's see, just to get the current layer. Where are you? Waterline. Yep, just black on a low opacity, just to darken it all. Then I moved on to Bubs. And who is Bubs? Why, Bubs are the bubbles. And that was painted again with this basic splatter brush using deep gray tones, and then I put this effect on it, this 3D effect, just to give it more depth. Let me show you. Let me zoom in. So this is Bubs without the little 3D effect and with it on. I just messed around with the settings here until I liked what I saw. That's basically how I work. I just mess around with things until I like what I see. That's why this, if I actually did this live, it would be about 4 hours long, because I'm kind of figuring out what I want. So that is Bubs, just with the splatter brush and putting a little 3D effect on it. Now Starbucks. So after we did this photo shoot, we went and picked up a coffee, and just for kicks, I said I'm gonna take, well, I took a picture with my phone of the foam on my coffee, and I said I'm gonna put this in the photo, and that's what this is. That's my Starbucks, and it is set to luminosity because I didn't want the color, I just wanted the texture, and that's right there. That worked out fine. My coffee is starring, and I'm happy about that. Did I do any adjustments here? No. Nah, that was straight texture of my coffee. Then I added, well, I was pretty happy with what was going on underneath here, and I wanted to work on up here. Now we have to cover up all this ugly background, and I wanted a calm waters, calm sky, nothing too busy. So I have this photo, and what I like about this photo is the colors here are very similar to her skin, and then the blues underneath. So we have that there. Then I have her body masked out, just using standard eraser tool. I didn't want any clouds or anything in the background. I didn't want anything to distract from the subject. So, and I really like this gradient. I just think the colors are perfect with her and with what's going on below. Then I, just masked her out. And then a curves, just to, this was the original sky, and then I threw a curves layer just to deepen it. Thought it was way too bright behind her, I didn't want that. So this is nice. Yep, I was pretty happy with that. And then it was really just to figure out how I wanted to really color the entire thing and how much more depth I wanted. So opened up color balance, get some warmth. So I'm playing with the midtones. Did I do anything? Yeah, a little bit of blue in the shadows again. Anything in the highlights? Yeah, a little green, a little yellow. And yeah, blending mode set to color. I just wanted the hue and saturation. I didn't want to affect the luminosity. That's why this is set to color. If I put it to normal, it changes everything a little bit, so slightly. So color. Oh, I didn't even have that on to show you. Right. Normal. This is what I love about Affinity, is this hover. See how everything is affected in different blending modes. Love it. Okay, so that's color. That was normal. So you see that little difference? I didn't want the luminosity affected. So yeah, this is how I wanted it. And then we move on to the channel mixer adjustments. This is just to play around with individual channels. I didn't really mess around too much here. I just wanted the red channel. I wanted a bit more of a golden color. So I just kind of played with this a bit and brought down the blue so that the red's not too overpowering. Like this is a little too warm for me, so just brought that down a bit. I'm good with that. And that's it for that. And then adjustments. Look, just slight 3% on the black, and I'm good with that. Look at that, you know, slight difference. I'm always showing my husband my photos and I turn the layer on and off and I'm like, you prefer this way or that way? And he goes, there was a difference. It's like, yes, of course. I mean, I see it, but sometimes it's so slight and it seems kind of silly to him. But I think it makes a world of difference. All right, the next thing is using curves to add a bit of shadow. So it's not going to be like that. We're going to mask that out. So I brought, yeah, so that's how it is. I brought it way down like this. And then just contouring. So this is basically what I've done here. So I've masked only what I want in this adjustment, and it's just a little bit of contouring on her face, for lack of a better word, to make it pop a bit. That's basically what it is, just like makeup, you know. Contouring, getting those shadows in, and you know, I still wanted to add more shadow to this side of her face because it's not going to get hit as much with sunlight as this side would. So yeah, I'm good with that. See that difference? Yeah, it just adds a little something. And then final adjustment. I just like to use this to see what texture I could bring out. This is a black and white adjustment, always only done on luminosity. I don't want to affect the color at all. What I like with this one, I brought the reds down quite a bit, and I found that it sort of brought out these freckles on her face, which I think is awesome because this is just a whole mermaid scenario. So yeah, I like the texture that it brought out on her face. It also affected the bubbles. Yeah, I have that at 100% luminosity. Yeah, I was messing around with the blue. Yeah, I get those deeper blues. Yeah, bring out those golden colors, those golden tones. The yellow, it's really the yellow, red and the blue I messed around with here. And that's it. That is the final photo. So that's what we started out with, and that's what we got. Pretty simpler, but yeah, this took hours to do, but look how quickly I went through that. Right, so I said it was done, but then I'm seeing a little something that I've got to edit. So let's just jump back in. This hard edge. Clone tool. Soften, soften, soften. That's for this. Gotta soften it up. You know, if you print this large, you're gonna see that. Alright, I think that looks okay. Let's zoom in. Zoom. Yeah, there's just that little corner. Alright, this is our final image. And there you have it. The final image. Is it ever really final though? Because we always jump back in and just do little minor changes. But yeah, that's it. That's how I took the two photos and made, where did it go? Oh, there it is, the composition. Yay! All you need is a little imagination and Affinity Photo. So thanks very much for watching this video, if you did make it through. And I hope you found it a little educational, maybe a little entertaining. If you'd like to see more of my work, you can follow me at Laura Ferreira Studios. I think that is the handle for all the things. My website is lauraferreira.com. I'm also on 500px. So big thank you to Affinity for inviting me to create this video and be part of their sessions. And yeah, I will see you soon. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out. Great, thanks again and see you soon.